Hey guys, today I have a review on the Colourpop Fresh line. So I did go ahead and buy the Pretty Fresh Tinted Moisturizer and also the Prime and Set Kit. So I'm going to start out with the Tinted Moisturizer. This has hyaluronic acid. This is worth $14. They have 24 shades available. And as I continue to talk, I am going to be showing the demo around here so you guys can go ahead and see it being applied to half of my face and then all of my face, so you guys can kind of get a gist of the color as well as how it looks on the skin. So I am in the shade medium 9W. Like I said, it comes in 24 shades. They are cruelty free. And how much is in here? I don't know how much is in here, but I'm pretty sure there's more than, yeah, it's 1.45 fluid ounces. So basically like 1.5 of what usually like most foundations only come with one. So that's a pretty good price for a foundation, basically a tinted moisturizer. So it says show more skin. It's supposed to be a hydrating tinted moisturizer, and it's supposed to be lightweight, fresh, healthy looking skin. It's oil free, and it's just supposed to like even your skin tone. It has coconut water, hyaluronic acid, which is good for hydration of the skin. It's supposed to be for all skin types, and it's supposed to be a natural finish. So with that in mind, it does say to use a sponge or a flat kabuki brush or your fingers, and if you want a matte look, to set it with powder. So I have tried this quite a bit. As you can see on the demo, it is very natural and dewy on the skin. If you weren't to set this, you were gonna look super dewy, not to a point where it's too exaggerated. It does kind of like after a while settle on your skin and like settle down a little bit, so it's not as dewy as when it's first applied, but it is more dewy than most foundations out there, so that is something to watch out for. I do feel like the shades are pretty forgiving because it kind of is more of a lighter coverage, so it is, you know, kind of easy to, or easier to pick out your shade if you were to have issues picking out your shade. There are quite a few Instagram accounts, and also I think online they also have different swatches as well to kind of help you, so that is a guide to go by. I felt like I could either use this or even a shade up to like shade 12 and not have any issues just by seeing other people's swatches on them. I feel like I said, it's very forgiving. So I have tried this quite a bit, and I would definitely say if you want this to last, if you have oily skin, you are definitely going to have to set this with a powder, be it a foundation powder or a setting powder. Either way, you're gonna have to set it to make it last on you. I have more kind of like normal to dry skin, so it's a little combination, and I love this. This actually worked really nice on my skin tone. I am going to be putting pictures around here so you guys can see the wear time as well. I wore this to work the very first day that I used it, and I just set it with a little bit of a setting powder, and which was the Kylie one, and just a translucent setting powder, and it worked beautifully on there. I did get wear off around my nose, which is very natural for me just because I touch it a lot, and it's just like an area that I've never gotten anything to say on there. But for the most part, everything else on my face, my bronzer, my blush, my highlights, everything else was in place and had not moved after 14 hours of work. So I thought that that was very impressive, especially because they don't claim this to be long wearing at all. So I feel like if you have dry to normal skin, this is going to last really nicely on you if you just set it with a loose powder. I did try this without setting it, and yeah, it was a total fail for me. I used it twice like that. One day I was out in the sun and it didn't even last an hour, and it melted away because I am someone who will sweat like crazy right away. So this sweated off like nobody's business. Another day I used it without setting it and like indoors, and also I felt like it transferred more, it didn't stay put. So I would definitely say even if you have dry skin, at least set this with a light kind of translucent powder or something just to make it stay a little bit longer. Unless you have like super dry skin, then maybe you might not want that. But if you have just like kind of normal to a little bit dry, I would definitely want to set this to make it last longer. But I was really impressed by this as far as how long it lasted. I love the look. It's very natural, very just kind of like very just like your skin, your skin, but a little bit better. So it does let your like it's actually what I have on my skin right now. And I think you guys can see, hopefully you guys can see this here. I do have like little age spots, and you can definitely see them peeking through. It's going to be a really natural coverage, but it's going to look absolutely beautiful. So if you're into more of an everyday natural kind of glowy skin, I think that this is definitely going to be up your alley. And if you have oily skin, definitely want to set this with something a lot stronger, probably like a foundation powder or something like that, you know, to set it, to really have it like stay in place. Next up, I'm going to go ahead and talk about the Prime and Set. This has coconut water and hyaluronic acid, just like the Tinted moisturizer. And oh, another thing that I wanted to say before I continue on with the set is that I tried this with the sponge that you're supposed to use it with, and I did not like this together. This sponge is a really nice sponge. It's nice and soft. It absorbs water really nicely, and it feels really nice against the skin, but this soaks up product like nobody's business. And because this isn't like something with high coverage, this just soaks it up and doesn't put enough coverage on your skin. So I would definitely say use your fingers or use a flat kabuki brush like you saw in my demo. That's how I've been applying this, with a flat kabuki brush, but I would not recommend this for this tinted moisturizer. I do like this for doing my under eye concealer or even like thicker foundations. This is a nice sponge. So that is their blending sponge, and that is basically my thoughts on the sponge. The next thing in here is the Hydrating Hyaluronic Primer. This is a lightweight, refreshing makeup prepping kind of thing. It's ideal for combo and dry and normal skin, so definitely not for oily girls. I feel like this is a drugstore or affordable version of the Too Faced Hangover Primer, which I love. So this I have really been gravitating to. It does have a nice little pump. It is kind of like a peach color, and then when you blend it in, it has kind of like that same kind of milky feeling as the Too Faced Hangover Primer, where it feels like kind of watery and it just kind of like seeps into your skin. I don't feel like it does much as far as like pores or anything like that, but if you have dry skin, it's really going to hydrate really nicely and just kind of give you a little bit of a smoother canvas. And it smells like kind of like coconutty, and I really enjoy it. If you don't like the smell of coconut, then you're not probably going to like this. But if you don't mind the smell of coconut and you're looking for a good hydrating primer and you have dry or aging skin, I think that this is going to be really nice and a go-to and very affordable. Or if you like the Too Faced one, this is kind of like its dupe. Next up is the Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Acid Setting Mist. I was kind of like a little upset because mine was a little loose, so when I opened it, it actually like spilled. So I am missing quite a bit of it. I did not realize that it had it was kind of loose on there, so I did have to tighten that up, but I'm not mad at it because this whole set, if I'm not mistaken, is, I'm going to put it across the screen, but I'm almost sure it's $25 or $24. So that's not bad for 3 products. Colourpop is super affordable. So this is kind of like that same kind of peach color. It does have the same smell where it has that coconutty smell. And the spray on here isn't too bad, especially for being such an affordable spray. It isn't, you know, like, I don't know if I got a really good one, but I feel like it's super soft and nice compared to a lot of drugstore ones. So I don't know if you guys can see that. Hopefully you guys can see that. It's super nice and misty and soft mist. So it's not something that's like squirting out at you. The little spray handle on here that I got was a really nice one. I have seen some people complain that theirs squirts out bad, so I don't know if I just got a good one, because, you know, when sometimes when things are affordable, some people will get a good one, someone will get a bad one, but the one that I got, the mist comes out really nicely, really evenly, and it comes off nice and softly, where it just kind of hydrates your skin really nicely and just sets everything, takes away that powdery look to your skin. Really enjoy this. Also, I really feel like this is good and gravitated towards more dry, aging skin, which is why this whole line kind of really called my name, because that's kind of what I gravitate to now, is more hydrating and glowy kind of products. So I have to say I really enjoyed this whole line. I have just fallen head over heels over it. I'd love to hear your opinion and know if you have oily skin, if this worked for you or didn't work for you, or you know, or if you had an experience with this, what your experience was down below. If you're like me, if you really like the whole line, or if you're just not feeling it, I'd love to hear your opinions and you guys share down below. And yeah, that is basically it for today. Let me know what your thoughts are, and if you're not subscribed, definitely subscribe by hitting that little red button. Like this video if you like this video. You can follow me on Instagram down below. I will keep you guys updated as I continue to use these more, but that is basically my impression after using it for 4 days. And yeah, I'd love to hear back from you guys if you want to leave a comment down below. I've been trying to write back to you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.